Welcome, Dads of Wrestling fans, to episode 11 of Dads on Wrestling. I am one of your hosts, the Renegade of Wrestling, J.J. Williams. With me, as always, Mr. T.W., Jeff Meacham.
Thank you.
Host of his own highly successful, as I'm sure you all know, Talk Wrestling. The brains behind the production. But anyways, our last week's installment, we covered WrestleManias 1 through 9. And now we're going to pick up right here and continue running, starting with WrestleMania 10 through WrestleMania 18. WrestleMania 10, what I remember the most about it was the curtain jerker.
Yes.
Bret Hart versus Owen Hart. Owen Hart finally getting out of his brother's shadow a little bit, able to show the world that he's just as good, if not a little bit better, than his big brother.
On that night, he was, no doubt about that. You know, and that feud carried for a good 2.5, 3 years. Yeah. It kind of died out a little bit in '95 and toward '96, '97 because Bret had other issues to deal with, obviously. But you know, they carried that until after WrestleMania 13.
Yeah, and in my opinion, that was one of the last really great feuds because everyone knew they were brothers. Everyone knew they loved each other. That they were going over to Hart House every Sunday and having family dinners and shit.
Absolutely.
But they did not talk to each other on the road. They took separate flights so they wouldn't have to see each other. They played the angle.
They made us believe.
Yes, they made us believe in a world where everyone knows it's fake. Everyone knows that it's scripted. They made us believe that they were really having family turmoil.
Yep, fraternal issues. And then, of course, you had Bret defeating Yokozuna at the end of the night. You had Luger, Yokozuna, Mr. Perfect referee debacle.
You had Shawn versus Razor
at WrestleMania 10, which
ladder match.
You know what? Everybody talks about that match and beats it to death with an ugly stick made for a horse. Seriously, it was one of the greatest matches of all time. It was the trend setter. But in today's market, with these ladder matches aplenty, it just doesn't seem as special anymore to me.
Yes, it doesn't.
Which is why,
even as a newer fan as compared to you, I hold the WrestleMania 10 ladder match as the setting stone all the way up until No Mercy 99, when the Hardys and Edge and Christian, match 5 in the Terry Invitational Tournament, to the tag team ladder match and just shattered Shawn and Razor.
Yes.
But that was the standard bearer for a good 5 years.
But at the end of the day, I had a hard time putting that in that poll.
Yeah.
Because it's like, do we really want to sit through a match that we've all seen 100 times, over and over again?
But it's a definitive WrestleMania moment.
It is. But so
and especially when we're talking about Shawn Michaels' storied career.
Right, but also
the first two matches everyone thinks about. I hate to keep cutting you off.
That's okay, no worries.
But the first two things everyone thinks about for Shawn Michaels is Iron Man ladder.
And Iron Man just too goddamn long.
Then comes Ric Flair, then comes Undertaker.
Right.
And it's almost in that order. Iron Man, ladder, Flair, Taker.
Yeah, and Undertaker's not just WrestleMania, it's all their battles. Royal Rumble, Hell in a Cell, Ground Zero. The Undertaker Shawn Michaels story is just an awesome one to tell. But WrestleMania-wise, that one did end up winning the poll. At least it was winning last time. Actually, I haven't closed the damn poll yet. It's not WrestleMania yet, baby.
Yeah, we're probably not going to close it until we get another,
couple weeks in, yeah. So WrestleMania 10 led to all those things, and then we led into 11, which Shawn took that main event kick in the butt and went, all right, I'm going to win the Royal Rumble. I'm going to challenge my friend Big Daddy Cool for the WWF Championship in the sub-main event. Because LT's got to get the big payday. Wow. Granted, LT did a phenomenal job for his little training that he had.
Yes.
No question. But when you have the guys that are carrying the company on their backs, and it's quite a load to carry because the WWF 95 sucked all kind of balls. Okay? For them to be relegated to a semi-main because LT came in for a big payday and they had to pay all those damn football players.
Including future Four Horsemen, Steve Mongo McMichael.
That is today's fail. I think right there.
I don't know. I think I can top you, but we'll wait till we get there.
We'll get there. We'll get there.
For 11, Mongo McMichael is the fail.
No, for 11,
LT.
The whole LT football players ridiculous amount of money being showed out.
Salt and Peppa sending him to the ring.
That was actually okay. I didn't mind that part because they were shaking and they were doing their whole thing.
They had enough to shake.
They had enough to shake, especially the middle one. Yeah. There you go. Anyway,
so WrestleMania 12.
Was she salt and or pepper, by the way? I'm just curious.
The middle one was Spinderella.
All right. Well, then
the DJ.
Then we'll call her salt. Okay. I don't even know what that means. 12. Okay. 12 upsets me. I know Jay's done for a minute, so I'm gonna carry 12 here. 12 upsets me to this day. Granted, it had a great Iron Man match. It had a clusterfuck Piper Goldust match.
Yes.
It had the debut of Triple H at WrestleMania.
Yes.
It had the debut of Stone Cold at WrestleMania.
Yes.
Why does it upset me?
Yes. Why?
Because the point where Shawn Michaels landed, about 3 rows back, I was supposed to be sitting there. I was supposed to get tickets for Mania that year. I know. Our cameraman's blowing me away with the legendary gun back there. I was supposed to be going, and the tickets fell through because of financial situations. And then Shawn does his little entrance, and I'm going, he's gonna land. Yeah, oh yeah, he did, mother.
Well, see, WrestleMania 12 to me was kind of the genesis of my knowledge of wrestling.
True.
On a bigger scale. I mean, anybody growing up in the 80s kind of heard about rock and wrestling and Hulk Hogan and Hulk Hogan's rock and wrestling cartoons. You know, I wasn't into wrestling, but I still watched those cartoons because it was Saturday morning cartoons, baby.
Brad Garrett is Hulk Hogan. There you go.
Freaking a bowl of cereal, some Apple Jacks, some Cocoa Krispies, and Hulk Hogan's rock and wrestling. And I wasn't even a fan then.
Well, that's why you enjoyed it. You were on a sugar high.
Hey, there you go. But anyways, because I was going to City College back in those days, and my good buddy, godfather of my daughter, Bruce
Edwards, yes,
huge Bret Hart fan, and the uncle of my daughter, Mike, a.k.a. Stat Boy, a.k.a. for those of you that went to Gorilla and are in the know, Indiana Tard Boy, huge Shawn Michaels fan. So, for weeks on end leading up to Mania, dude, who do you think's gonna win, Shawn or Bret? Dude, who do you think's gonna win, Shawn or Bret? Like he was gonna get a different answer.
Yeah, seriously.
One wanted Bret, one wanted Shawn. I was indifferent. I was the guy, dude, wrestling is gay. It's a bunch of guys in Speedos and baby oil wrestling around on the mat touching each other. You're queers.
Well, we both walked off. That's a first. There you go. We both walked off at the same time.
Fast forward 5 years, I'm co-hosting one show and I have my own on YouTube. So,
5 years.
I'm the fail. Yeah.
5 years.
Yeah.
No, WrestleMania 12 was 96. So
yeah, and this is 2011.
15 years. You said 5.
Oh, shit.
WrestleMania 12's fail today is from JJ himself. There you go. WrestleMania 12, there was no fail except I lost my tickets and Jay messed up on his math. That's okay. So Jay's memory shit and his math not so good either. He's okay.
My math is awesome when it comes to money, but you put down, fractions and all that other shit, and I'm just fail.
So fractions. So 5 out of 5 is 1. So how do you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Hey,
okay.
I'm still a firm believer that 1 + 1 makes 11.
That's right, baby.
You stand them next to each other and it does. Just saying. WrestleMania 13.
You cannot look past Bret Hart and Steve Austin.
No.
That was the whole story of the night. Yes, you had Sid Taker. Yes, you had Triple H Goldust. Yes, you had the tag battle between the Cornette's camp and Vader and not Vader when Mankind was Cornette's camp. No, it wasn't. Vader, Mankind, Owen, and Bulldog. That's right.
Yes.
God, I'm so tired. And you had all these great things, but at the end of the night, the image of Steve Austin with his bloody forehead and face passing out from the sharpshooter will be the definitive moment of that WrestleMania.
Especially since they turned it into a T-shirt, the old school blood from a stone shirt.
You know what? I had that shirt for the longest time. I had to sell it on eBay for money, but I regret that to this day. But well, that in fact I'm about 2 sizes bigger than that now. So
yeah,
big picture, it didn't matter anyway. As it is, I'm squeezing into Double A's WrestleMania 23 jersey here because I forgot my WrestleMania shirts because I'm that much of an idiot this week.
Yeah, now you walk off the beam.
I know.
WrestleMania 13 also, of course, had the WrestleMania debut of The Rock, Rocky Maivia, versus the Sultan, a.k.a. Rikishi,
which will be our
head shrinker, Fatu, quite a few,
personalities on Rikishi's
family
side,
thing. Rocky Johnson, Rock's dad got involved at the end of the match, which that's the main thing I remember about that match and part of why I pushed for it to be in our WrestleMania Rewind days because, not growing up in the 80s, the fact that here's The Rock and his dad is getting involved in Mania. Awesome! I marked out huge for that the first time I saw it.
I'm just so glad in the interim of whatever it was 11 years, Rocky cleaned himself up a little bit for the Hall of Fame induction because he was a mess in '97.
Hey, and Rocky Johnson didn't go on to be a bargain basement Ed McMahon on the Abraham Washington show. I'm just throwing that out there. WrestleMania 14.
Shawn and Steve.
Yeah.
Shawn and Steve,
The
Undertaker,
dumpster match.
Kane, any of those. You can take anything from that WrestleMania and
It was an awesome Mania.
Except for The Rock, Jennifer Flowers. That's the fail of that WrestleMania right there. I'm sorry. I love The Rock.
Hey, The Rock and all his pimpdom though was just throwing catchphrase after catchphrase.
Watch Jennifer, it's People's Champion. It's like, that's Super Rock. That's great. Yeah. Anyway.
So Jennifer, you smell what The Rock is cooking?
She's like, yeah, it smells like Arkansas. Anyway, wow. Well, of course, Jennifer, anything smells like Arkansas after that, you know.
Owen and Hunter.
Owen and Hunter, yeah. That was another great with China and Slaughter.
Yeah, Slaughter handcuffed.
And then we come to 15, and JJ's first watching that night.
Yes.
WrestleMania.
And the two images that stick out the most for me from WrestleMania 15, and they weren't even great moments by any means when you get like to the nitty gritty, but the two images that stand out in my mind from WrestleMania 15 is Butterbean knocking the shit out of Bart Gunn in like 20 seconds.
Yeah.
Okay, after that long build up for the Brawl for All and Bart Gunn kind of being billed as this legitimate tough guy contender, here comes Butterbean. Boop.
Yeah. Yep. Butterbean sent Bart Gunn's head about 15 different directions.
Yeah.
Literally.
And moment number 2, everybody forgets and credits WrestleMania 16 as the WrestleMania debut of Edge and Christian. The Brood descending from the rafters to the top of the cell, lowering the noose through the cell for the Undertaker to hang the big Boss Man. Rest in peace, Boss Man. But those two images are the ones that got ingrained in my skull there for the first time watching, because they were the most spectacle out of that show.
Which is why
then you had like the epic fail of D'Lo Brown and Test
against
versus Owen and Jarrett.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, they won a battle royal on Heat and were the last 2 men in the battle royal, and they get a tag shot. They'd never teamed together before. They were nothing.
They were fighting at the end of the battle royal. Like, oh wait, we won.
It's like, and do you expect us to win the belts? Come on, seriously. Where's the legitimate team? You had them then.
And then you have 2000.
Yes.
I was there.
I wasn't, because my first live event was the Raw
the night after 2000. Yes.
We had contemplated getting tickets, but we couldn't justify spending the hundreds of dollars that they want for WrestleMania tickets when we were just scratching the surface of our fandom.
Well, the great part about that was my friends went to SmackDown that was in LA, or whatever it was, the previous October, I think it was. Priority seating for WrestleMania. So we got so we got the little pamphlet in the mail, and it's okay, we got these tickets. So I sat in the front row of the 400 section, which was not expensive tickets, and I was right on top of the entrance where I saw Jericho turn around, do his thing. He looked up like right at me pretty much. That was cool. 2000 was a great WrestleMania for the most part, but not one regular one-on-one match.
No, every match was a gimmick.
Every match was a gimmick in one way or another. So that and it made it cool.
Which brings us to 17 in the gimmick battle royal. You know, you had Austin Rock 2.
This guy here is going to make me watch Gimmick Battle Royal as part of a WrestleMania rewind. That's all I'm throwing out there.
You got to. It's a WrestleMania moment. Look at it this way, okay? If we're going to do the 25 women of WrestleMania with the fail of Santina Marella,
which I don't want to do either,
then why not throw Hillbilly Jim and the Iron Sheik in there for one more glorious moment? You know, Bobby Heenan on commentary again.
And Gene, and that's
okay.
True. All right.
The grand scheme of things, Jeff. The grand scheme of things.
But then Rock and
Austin Rock 2,
which was the better one of the two.
I always had a partiality to 3, but we'll get to that in the next episode.
We'll get to 3 next episode. Yes. You know, Austin Rock 2, Vince and Shane.
Yeah.
You know, any of those. And then 18.
Yeah.
The Ascension, the return of Triple H, winning the Undisputed Championship from Chris Jericho, Hogan and Rock.
Yes.
You know,
icon versus icon.
And the match in between, the women's title match, kind of like, oh yeah, we forgot about the girls. Go out there and do that.
Never been a Hulkamaniac. As I got through the years and watching, I started to become less of a Rocky fan. That match still sent chills up my spine.
Oh, definitely. The moment of them staring each other down in the ring was enough to send chills up my spine, and the rest of it was just golden.
What about you guys? What do you think about 10 through 18? Leave us comments, let us know. Until next time, I'm the Renegade of Wrestling, JJ Williams.
I am Mr. TW, Jeff Meacham. I can't say TW, but that's okay.
We'll see you next time.